All right, here we go. We're going to get 5 shots, 100 yards. Let's see what this slash can actually do. Whoa! 5 in a row, 100 yards, Taipan Slash. Wow!
Airgun Advisor is brought to you in part by Airguns of Arizona, High Pressure Pneumatics, Hot Sun USA, Rapid Airworks, and Athlon Optics. You'll find links to these and more in the comments down below.
Now, if that doesn't grab your attention, I don't know what will. Welcome back to the Airgun Advisor. I'm Chad Kettner, well, your Airgun Advisor, and today we're taking a deep dive into one of the most talked about air guns right now, and that happens to be the Taipan Slash Tactical, and in this case, in 25 caliber. Now, trust me, this thing's not just another version of the Taipan Veteran. This is a full-blown new air gun from Taipan Airguns. And I've got one final shot you're going to want to stick around for at the very end because it might just be one of the dumbest things I've ever done yet. And yeah, I actually had to do it twice. Why? Well, because I forgot to turn on the camera the first time. Make sure you stick around for the whole thing, but let's go ahead and dig into this air gun that we have right here. This is a very clean, compact air gun. And man, I'll tell you what, don't let its compact size fool you because this thing is a beast. It's an all-new semi-automatic design. That's right, this is a semi-auto air gun. There's a lot of these coming out in the market today. And I'll tell you what, I really think that the name fits it. The Slash, because it's going to slash right through targets. Now, of course, the biggest feature of this thing is that it is semi-automatic. This air rifle's made in the Czech Republic, so it's coming from overseas, and it's being imported by Talon Airguns. Now, this rifle has a 12-shot magazine, and you're going to be able to fire those 12 shots off without any bolt cycling, no breaking of that position, and no interruptions. But what really makes this an impressive air gun is this how efficient it is. Taipan has designed this brand new patented valve that opens and closes extremely fast, gives you some extreme power, excellent consistency, and very low air consumption for a semi-auto air gun. I mean, just look at that small bottle size down there, 0.3 liters. That's a small bottle, and you're going to get quite a few shots out of it for how powerful this air gun really is. Now, for me, I wanted to test this with slugs out of the box. Slugs are very popular right now in the airgun industry, and for the most part, you don't have to do any tuning to get good, acceptable accuracy out of this out of the box. Now, I did do a little tweaking in my review, so I don't want to try to blow any smoke in your face and tell you I didn't. I did do a little bit of tweaking and turned up the regulator a little bit to just get that group size a little bit smaller. Now let's take a look at this air gun though. We do have a 300 cc or a 0.3 liter bottle tucked right in here in the buttstock. The barrel is fully shrouded, which keeps things incredibly quiet. Usually with these semi-auto air guns that are really powerful, comes a lot of noise. And this one is different. Matter of fact, when I talked to the guys at Talon Airguns, I asked them to put a 1/2 moderator or a 1/2 by 20 moderator on the end down here. And they did. They have them in stock, and you can order them from Tony over there at Talon Airguns. But I found I just didn't need it. I put it on there, and it does quiet things down, of course, a little bit. But the air gun, the way it is, didn't need it because of this fully shrouded barrel down here. Now, on top, for the scope rail, it does have a built-in 20 MOA, and it is a Picatinny rail, which is great for optics, as well as that 20 MOA is great for long distance shooting. It really helps to compensate for the drop. And speaking of that, I have my tracked optic up here, and that has a ton of built-in vertical shift that you can go ahead and dial in more than any other scope that I have in my collection. And that's one of the reasons I really like tracked optics, other than it's really clear glass. And I did review this scope earlier, And I'll put a little link up here, and you know what to do if you're interested in looking at a new high-end scope coming at you at a very budget-friendly, direct-to-consumer price. Now this grip, and then these wood accents here are extra. Tony over there at Talon Airguns put those on there, and it really helped to dress up this air gun. Now on the bottom here, you're going to notice I do have a Arca rail down here, and this is what you need if you're going to attach a bipod. This bipod is a carbon fiber bipod by Talon Airguns. And one of the nice things about this, and I won't take it off, but it is both Picatinny and Arca compatible. So you're going to be able to use that with a plethora of different air guns. But overall, I am really, really impressed with this. One little thing I do want to mention, this cheek piece right here does come off just a little easier than I might like. So I did make a small modification. I took some Velcro tape and you put it on the inside here, and it just slides right on there. And that's just going to prevent that from sliding anywhere or falling off. Other than that though, awesome air gun. I would definitely recommend it. The one thing that Taipan really nailed it on, in my opinion, is this magazine system. So it comes with 2 magazines. This is the slug version of the magazines. They look similar, except on the back, you're going to notice the one for pellets has a little indentation on the back, so you can kind of keep them straight. And it comes with this little 3D printed seating tool. So you can go ahead and seat those slugs and those pellets to the same depth each and every time. And that's important for consistency and making sure you get the most out of your air gun. But this is so slick. Super easy to install. Let's look at this. Go ahead and put it in there, slides in. I'm going to lock it, and now it's ready to go. And this is actually, this locking mechanism here acts like a safety, because when it is pulled out and not engaged, it does allow you, or it locks the air gun so it's not going to shoot. And look how easy it is to swap this out. Just push it out, ready to go. So you can get extras of these. They're not too expensive really for what they are. Really kind of pleased with that price, but it slides in there super easy. Let's take a second and talk about some real life numbers, because specs are one thing. You can read those on the internet, but real life numbers in testing is a whole nother matter. And I like to do that here so you can kind of get an idea of at least what this particular air gun that I have in front of me is producing. Now to do that testing, I went ahead and used my Athlon chronograph. I tested the Slash with 38 grain H&N slugs, and I was really pleased with my results. Now, from a full fill, I was able to get 25 usable shots. And I say usable because we're still getting well over 1,000 feet per second out of those slugs. But the first 18 of those shots, so a magazine and a half, were right on the regulator. And this is where the rifle really shines, because you're going to get those tight groups that you really want. If I turn this regulator down, I could get more shots. Now I'm not going to have the same velocity, but you can adjust this and turn it down rather easily. So keep that in mind. Every air gun that you're going to get, and the projectile that you're using can have different settings. So your shot count is going to be a little bit different than mine. But remember, it's a nice small bottle also. Those shots on the reg average 1,024 feet per second with a standard deviation of, just get this, 6.2 feet per second. Extremely consistent, especially for a semi-automatic air gun. And I'll tell you what some of the other reviewers are telling you also, that you do need to wait just a second if you want to get that really small standard deviation between each shot. That way the plenum is filled with air, and you're allowing the regulator to work and complete that full fill, so you can get those consistent shots over and over again. You don't have to wait very long, but if you're just going to go and pull the trigger as fast as you can, you will notice a different speed after a little bit. So doing some quick math though, that puts us right around 80 to 90 foot-pounds of energy, which is more than enough to go hunting with, to do some long-range shooting and really test your skills, and just get out there and have some plain fun. Beyond the chronograph data though, we also have some trigger data, and because honestly, I wanted to get that out there because this trigger surprised me. Whether you're talking about semi-auto air guns from Hatsan or the Blitz, which is also fully auto, or you're talking about other semi-auto air guns like the Westerns or even the Ed gun, the trigger on this, I think, takes it to a whole nother level. Now, I did a test. I did 5 weight pulls, And on average, it came out to be just around 13 ounces, and that is light. Now, talking about clean, crisp trigger, consistent accuracy, it allows you to do some really fun, cool trick shots like you're going to see here in a little bit. Like, you know, putting a quarter on the top of your Apple computer at 50 yards that you use for editing these videos. Yeah, I did that. Just hang tight, you'll see that here in a few minutes. Now let's talk about accuracy for a minute, because that's where this Taipan Slash really shines. And I did a 100-yard group for you here. We're going to take a look with the H&N 38 grain slugs after I did a little tweaking with the regulator. So let's go ahead, before we get any further, and head out to range and see what we got at 100 yards.
That's it. So I've been messing around with tuning this thing just a little bit because, well, I wanted to turn up the regulator, try some different slugs out. We got the H&N heavy slug shooting at 1,023 feet per second. And I think that is the magic number for these slugs out of the Taipan Slash. I mean, you can't ask for a better group than that, really, can you? I mean, that's thumb, quarter, MOA for sure. Wow. I'm speechless out of a semi-auto air gun. Unreal.
I'll tell you what is not to like about that. That is a very nice and consistent and accurate PCP air gun in semi-auto that I have right here in front of me. Let's go ahead. I've been talking about this trick shot I did at 50 yards. I'll go ahead. I'm going to put both shots on there. Now, these were one-take wonders on both. I didn't sit there and do this 4, 5, 6 times and kind of work my way down until I hit the quarter. I aimed right at it. Like I alluded to, though, the first time, I forgot to turn on the scope cam, but we'll get the second one on scope cam for you. So without further ado, hope you enjoyed the review. Let's head back to the range and check out that trick shot.
We all do dumb things, and I have to prove how accurate this Taipan Slash really is. And to do so, well, I brought out my computer, my Macintosh that I use for editing videos, and I've placed a quarter out here at 50 yards just to show you how accurate and how much faith I have in this Taipan Slash in 25 caliber, especially with slugs. So, quarter, 50 yards. It's now or never. Let's do this. This could be a mistake. This is either really dumb or going to be freaking awesome and show you exactly what we got. I hope it's the second one. All right. There it is. Bam! Quarter gone! Computer safe! I was nervous, I'm not gonna lie to you, because computers aren't expensive. You know how expensive Apple stuff is. Scope camera wasn't working, so we gotta do this again. We'll set this quarter on here. Perfect. Let's see if we can do it again. Let's roll. Always make sure all of your cameras are on. We just did that quarter at 50 yards without the scope camera on, and I know you guys want to see that. So we're going to do it again. That was not my most brilliant move ever. All right, let's go ahead. Should be good here. I'm going to shoot one just to make sure.
All right, we're set. Let's do this again. That could have been a $1,000 mistake. Golly. Woo! Got it on camera that time, baby. No messing around with the Taipan Slash, shooting those H&N slugs, guys. Absolutely impressed with this air gun. There's not many other air guns that I would shoot a quarter off my Apple computer down there at 50 yards. And this is one of them. Wow. Go check them out at Talon Airguns, I guess formerly known as Talon Tunes, now Talon Airguns. I'll leave the link down below. You guys know what to do. If you want to check out this scope from Tracked Optics, I'll leave a link there as well. And of course, I have been filming this at 50 yards and again 100 yards using my spotting scope and my iPhone. Spotting scope, Tracked Optics again, just because that glass is so clear, I can get some really good pictures out of it. Guys, until next time, make sure that trigger pull stays smooth, those pellets fly straight, or should I say H&N slugs this time, and we'll see you next time right here on the Airgun Advisor. Let's go again, man. Oh, there's a paint can down there. I'm not done yet.